Part 15. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 141. Haoshan stood on the Lingxiao Palace, looking very arrogant. He finally had an immortal under his control in heaven. In his opinion, if there is an immortal position in heaven, everything in the three realms will be under his supervision. But unfortunately, it can only be said that he overthinks it. Just relying on some low-ranking incense immortals to control all the powerful people in the wild? Is that possible? Some incense immortals entering the immortal position are just a joke in our opinion. Yes, if the supervision comes to me anyway, I will not give them face. Before the canonization of gods began, all the great powers from the beginning of time already had expressions of contempt on their faces. Today, the saint of Yuanqi returns to heaven and becomes the heavenly lord of Yuanqi. Today, Guangqinzi. Above the Lingxiao Palace, Haoshan's voice of conferring gods came out one after another. One after another figures appeared from the list of gods. It doesn't take a moment. There is already a group of immortals in the Lingxiao Palace. A group of immortals stood below, Yuanqi Tianzun stood at the top, while the Jade Emperor and Yao Kai sat high above. Although the current Yuanqi is an incense saint, his status has been reduced and his strength has become weaker. Although he is called an incense saint, his ability is only slightly stronger than killing 3 corpses. He was once a dignified saint, the highest in the world. Not to mention that his current power and status have been reduced, he has become an immortal under the Jade Emperor. At this moment, Yuanqi stood at the head of a group of immortals. He felt very uncomfortable as he watched his disciples follow the orders of the Jade Emperor. But no matter what, his soul rests on the list of gods, and the Jade Emperor is in charge of the list. He doesn't feel comfortable, so he can only endure it. Meet the Jade Emperor. See the Queen Mother. All the immortals saluted one after another. Well. Haoshan and Yao Kai saw the immortals surrendering and bowed respectfully. Their faces were full of joy. Since the founding of Heavenly Court, the two of them have never been so prosperous. Haoshan and Jade Emperor thought in their hearts, the miserable days will end. The past has passed. From now on, he will be in charge of the 3 realms, with great power and incomparable glory. The canonization of gods is completed. In Xixiao Palace, Hung Jun's face darkened. This time the conferred god measuring tribulation has been tampered with by an unknown Taoist friend. The next calamity must not be allowed to suffer. It's time for me to lead the 3,000 avenues and enter the wilderness with many Hongmeng to balance the avenue of power. Hung Jun muttered to himself a few times. Then, the huge power of heaven showed. Today, I will attract 3,000 avenues beyond the ancient world, as well as many Hongmeng purple energy into the ancient world. From now on, many living beings in the prehistoric times will have the opportunity to attain Hunyuan. Hung Jun's voice came out. In an instant, it attracted the attention of all the powerful people in the world. What? A lot of Hongmeng purple energy? Can many living beings attain Hunyuan? The Saint of Heaven is going to send you a great opportunity. Gee, this is a big deal. We know Hongmeng purple qi, but what are the 3,000 avenues? All the great masters in the prehistoric era were extremely shocked and very curious. They had heard of Hongmeng Ziki, but they had not been exposed to the 3,000 avenues before, so they did not understand it. I know you don't know what the 3,000 great ways are, so now I'm telling you. The 3,000 Great Dao is the most powerful force in the eternal chaotic universe, and it exists above Hunyuan. Hung Jun's indifferent voice came out again. 3,000 avenues, the power above Hunyuan. All the great masters in the prehistoric era were shocked when they heard this. The Saint of Heaven has given us such a great opportunity this time, which not only gives us the opportunity to prove the Dao, but also gives us the opportunity to surpass Hunyuan. Great, don't miss this opportunity. In an instant, the glasses of all the mighty men in the prehistoric times bloomed with light. Many Hongmeng, 3,000 avenues. Could it be that this is the great opportunity and great change that Taoist Tongtian mentioned last time? The Western teacher was shocked when he received the invitation. Fellow Taoist Tongtian is really amazing. We have calculated this several times before, but he actually concluded it at a glance, Zunti said in surprise. Junior brother, many Hongmeng create Hunyuan, and the 3,000 avenues are good things that can make us become better than Hunyuan. We must not miss it, Ji Yin said. Yes, when many Hongmeng and 3,000 avenues descend, we will immediately go to snatch them. With Hongmeng and the 3,000 avenues, our Western religion will definitely be able to regain its former strength. Zunti nodded. Who fled back to the dojo thousands of years ago because he was afraid of Tongtian, now also heard Hung Jun's message. 3,000 avenues. Beyond Hunyuan, I'm eyes moved. After the last battle of conferred gods, he realized clearly that although I am a saint, compared to the unknown Taoist, compared to Tongtian, he is still too weak. Now he has the opportunity to become stronger. He was immediately moved. I absolutely cannot miss this opportunity, I secretly thought. In the Chaos Tianhe formation of Zhejiao. Thousands of years ago, after the Battle of the Gods, Tongtian thought that Nuwa would leave. Who knows, she didn't leave at all. But Tongtian wanted Nuwa to return to his dojo. Meaning, Nuwa immediately became unruly. I had no choice but to let her stay here. Hey, Tongtian, Taoist ancestor actually led 3,000 avenues and many Hongmeng into the wilderness. Nuwa exclaimed in shock. Thousands of years ago, Tongtian told her that Hung Jun would lead 3,000 avenues and Hongmeng into the wilderness. Now it has really become a reality. Tongtian, you are amazing, Nu Wa said with admiration on her face. Tongtian's expression was as indifferent as ever. After taking a look at the vast void, she said, Nu Wa, you should also pursue the 3,000 avenues this time. You have a share in the 3,000 avenues. Tongtian has good intentions. Nuwa is already Hunyuan, Hongmeng is of no great use to her, but the great Dao can benefit her. But Tongtian's good intentions don't taste right to Nuwa's ears. Tongtian, you want me to leave again, right? Nu Wa raised her eyebrows. Tongtian was speechless in his heart. Did I let you leave? Did I say the word leave? After getting along with each other for several yuanhui, Tongtian finally understood. Although Nu Wa is a saint, her personality is she is similar to the woman in her previous life. She sticks to you and will never let go. If you even have the slightest intention of asking her to leave, you will immediately blow up her hair. Tongtian, don't let me leave. From now on, your Chaos Galaxy formation can be considered my cave. Nu Wa didn't show any suspicion at all, she looked very confident. I'm not asking you to leave, I'm telling you to take the high road first and then come to my cave, Tongtian said. As soon as she heard that she was not told to leave, Nuwa immediately left. Okay, wait for the 3,000 avenues display, I will take it and return to the Chaos Galaxy formation. You must not close the formation, otherwise I will be outside and won't leave, Nuwa said. That's all, I'll teach you the ability to open and close the Chaos Galaxy formation, so that you won't have any wild thoughts and suspicions about me. Tongtian was also speechless. Immediately, a thought passed the method of opening and closing the Chaos Tianhe formation to Nuwa. After hearing the method of opening and closing the Chaos Tianhe formation, Nuwa's face was filled with joy. In this way, can you rest assured, Tongtian Dao? Not worried, Nu Wa nodded with satisfaction. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 142. 3,000 Avenues, Guide. Hongmeng Purple Energy, Lead. In the Zixiao Palace, the power of heaven is greatly displayed. Above the void, purple energy, one after another containing powerful breath power, breaks through the sky. At this moment, all the great powers in the prehistoric eras saw the Hongmeng above the void. Purple energy and the power of 3,000 avenues. That is Hongmeng Ziki, are there 3,000 avenues? Is this a great opportunity to achieve Hunyuan and beyond? I originally thought that there was no hope of realizing the Hunyuan Dao in this life, but now that heaven has given me the opportunity, I can expect the opportunity of the great Dao. This Hongmeng purple chi, I should have a share of the 3,000 avenues. I'm going to get one too. In an instant, all the great powers in the prehistoric era walked out of their respective dojos and went to the void where the Hongmeng purple energy descended, and there were 3,000 avenues. Brother, the opportunity has come, Zunti shouted. Let's go, my brothers, and I will go immediately to Hongmeng Ziki and take the 3,000 avenues. Zunti's face darkened. In an instant, the two holy bodies flew away across the air. Opportunity has come, and my chance to surpass Wuoming Taoist and junior brother Tong Tien has come. Eyes flashed strangely, and I secretly rejoiced before heading out. I thought I could surpass Tong Tien if I obtained the 3,000 avenues. I can only say that he thought too much. Once the strength of the 3,000 avenues is released, who dares to compete? If the power is if the great avenue cannot crush the 3,000 avenues, how could Tong Tien plot against Hung Jun and let him lead the 3,000 avenues into the wilderness? This calculation is precisely because Tong Tien has the self-confidence to suppress everything. Above the heaven, Hao Shen Yaokai looked at Hongmeng Ziyi and Sankin Daodao also looked excited. Heaven now has an immortal position, but they both know that their strength is still lacking. Jade Emperor, we are bound to get a share of this Hongmeng purple chi and 3,000 avenues. In this way, the two of us have the ability to truly supervise the three realms. Yaokai wrote. What the Queen Mother said is true, we must win this Hongmeng purple chi and 3,000 avenues no matter what. The Jade Emperor nodded. The Jade Emperor and Yaokai were very happy, but the immortals standing under the Lingxiao Palace, including Yuanqi Tianzun, all had expressions of tears on their faces. Before they could become gods, most of them were. It is the existence of the three corpses, among which Yuanqi Tianzun is still a saint. There are still 3,000 avenues of this Hongmeng purple chi, and they are all qualified to win it. But now the position belongs to Incense Immortal, and the soul relies on the list of gods to exist, even if the Hongmeng purple chi and 3,000 avenues were given to them, but it was useless. Especially Yuanqi Tianzun, he was the most miserable. 3,000 avenues, the existence beyond Hunyuan, he could only watch helplessly. Now he really regrets it. If he had known it, he would have been with it. Would be great if the two of me can become gods. At worst, if all my disciples are sent away, I can survive at least and won't end up like this. You all, follow me and fight for the Hongmeng purple chi and the 3,000 avenues. The Jade Emperor stood up and shouted. In an instant, he and the Queen Mother flew into the sky. How dare those immortals violate their duties, so they could only follow them together. Ji Xiao. Tong Tien, I will come back as soon as I go. Nu Wa confessed, using the method of opening and closing the Chaos Tianhe formation taught by Tong Tien. She opened the Chaos Tianhe formation and flew away across the sky. It's time to summon all my disciples. I should have a share of this Hongmeng purple chi and the 3,000 avenues. My disciple, come. Tong Tien waved his hand. The power of the great Dao was unleashed. All the disciples of Jijiao gathered in the Chaos Tianhe formation. Among them, Wuxian, Duobao, Tong Jiape, Jinling Wuodang, and Kasidagarba also arrived. Pay homage to the teacher. All disciples, bow respectfully. No gift. You should all know about the Hongmeng purple chi and the 3,000 avenues. Tong Tien asked indifferently. When Hongmeng Ziki and 3,000 avenues appeared, the movement was so loud that all the disciples of Zhijiao naturally noticed it. To be honest, everyone was already a little impatient at this moment. "Teacher, I understand." All the disciples nodded. "This opportunity comes from heaven, you can go there if you wait." When they learned that Tongtian asked them to go, all the disciples looked overjoyed. "But remember, among you and others, only Wuxian, Duobao, Ape, Jinling, Wuodane, and Kasidagarba can take the 3,000 avenues, but the other disciples can only take the Hongmeng Purple Qi." Tongtian warned. "The 3,000 great Dao is a good thing, but without great luck or great merit, there is no chance of the 3,000 Dao. Forcibly taking it will only hurt oneself." All the disciples of Zhijiao, except for the first 6, although there are the luck that the great merchants shared last time is not considered great luck. That luck is only enough to prove the Hunyuan. If you want to take the great road, you still lack it? Is teacher. A group of disciples obeyed Tongtian's outspoken words. After Tongtian's advice, they deeply remembered it in their hearts. Then just wait. Tongtian waved his hand, and all the Zhijiao disciples flew away. After the Zhijiao disciples left, Tongtian set his sights on the 4th zombie ancestor. Although the zombie 4th ancestor was made of evil energy, he originally had no he is qualified to prove Hunyuan, but he has developed spiritual wisdom. The last time Tongtian divided the luck of the great Shang, the 4th ancestor of the zombies also got it, so he has the foundation to prove Hunyuan. "General, please come here." Tongtian shouted. The 4th zombie ancestor heard the sound and moved directly to Tongtian. "See the Lord." The 4 zombie ancestors saluted respectfully. "You and the other 4 should also take part in this opportunity. Later, you and I will go to the 10,000 Immortals sect and compete for the opportunity with my servants, the East Prince and the West Queen Mother." Tongtian Dao. "Yes, Lord." The 4 ancestors of the zombies are all evil. Although they have spiritual consciousness, they have always followed Tongtian's orders. On the contrary, they don't have much nostalgia for opportunities. If it hadn't been for Tongtian's orders, the 4 zombies would never have mentioned it. Opportunity, let alone chance. Tongtian waved his hand and sent the 4th zombie ancestor out of the Chaos Galaxy formation. The zombie 4th ancestor immediately went to the 10,000 Immortals sect. Speaking of the 10,000 Immortals sect, since the establishment of the sect, Donghuang Gong and the Queen Mother of the West has never forgotten her identity as a servant of Tongtian. Tongtian did not summon them, so they stayed in the 10,000 Immortals section when the Hongmeng Purple Qi and 3,000 avenues descended from the sky. The Duke of the East and the Queen Mother of the West naturally knew about it. But there was no lord. They didn't dare to go there rashly after receiving the order. When the 4th zombie ancestor arrived at the 10,000 Immortals sect and conveyed Tongtian's order, the East Prince and the Queen Mother of the West looked overjoyed and immediately followed the zombie 4th ancestor to the void. Now, above the void, the general trend of all parties and all the powerful people gathered together. The Hongmeng Purple Qi and the 3,000 avenues are great opportunities. Everyone wants it, not just themselves, but also want to plunder a little more. And this is where the contradiction arises. Lao Tzu, the 2 sages of the West, the heavenly court, and all the great powers from the beginning and the end of the world are arguing endlessly. As a saint, I should go first with this Hongmeng Purple Qi and the 3,000 avenues, I said. Fellow Taoist Lao Tzu, you are a saint, and we are also saints. Why should you only take priority? Ji Yin said. Several saints, the heavenly court, have the responsibility of supervising the 3 realms. Now that Yaokai and I are of low strength, please saints, let me and the 2 of us take some of this Hongmeng Purple Qi and the 3,000 avenues first. Although there was respect in Haoshan's tone, his words clearly meant he wanted to compete with the saint. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 143. The three saints and the heavenly court competed. How could the mighty man from the beginning just stand aside and watch? Several saints, the Jade Emperor, this Hongmeng purple chi still has 3,000 avenues, but Dao Zhao introduced it and said that all living beings can be obtained through qualifications. Good. Why should you wait to be divided first? We suggest that either everyone should have an equal share, or they should all share it together, without prioritization. All the great masters from the ancient world said one after another. At this moment, a great opportunity is ahead. The great masters from the ancient world no longer care about the saints and the Jade Emperor. They will not agree to anything that prevents them from getting the great opportunity. Nonsense. How unreasonable. Lao Tzu, Jian, Zunti, and the Jade Emperor all rebuked them. In their opinion, they are either supreme or powerful, and their dignity is higher than that of the great powers. How can they be divided equally with them? How can they be equally divided? There was a stalemate for a while. After a while, Nuwa, who was coming from the Chaos Tianhe formation, finally arrived. At this moment, Nuwa had also seen several stalemates. But in her heart, she just wanted to take the opportunity of the Great Road, and then return to the Chaos Tianhe in the formation. Therefore, without taking too much into consideration, he said directly, "Fellow Taoists, since you are waiting for a stalemate, then I will take a chance on the Great Road first." Nu Wa said as she prepared to fly into the air and take one of the 3,000 avenues. However, Lao Tzu, the second saint of the Western sect, and the Jade Emperor and Queen Mother of Heaven all blocked the way. They were in a stalemate for a long time, and no one could move. The reason was don't let others take the lead. Now that Nuwa wants to move first, how can they be willing? Fellow Taoist Nuwa, you are one step behind, how can you seize the opportunity of the Great Road first? Lao Tzu's holy voice fell silent. That's right, fellow Daoist Nuwa, we arrived first and didn't move, how could you be the first to do so? The Western teacher shook his head and said. Saint Nuwa, among the Hongmeng purple chi and the 3,000 avenues, one must come first and then the other. The Jade Emperor also followed with a very tough tone. In the words of several people, the meaning of obstruction was obvious. Nuwa paused and frowned. But before she could speak, the Zhijiao disciples who came behind her under the leadership of Wuxian, several disciples also arrived. The scene of several parties intercepting Nuwa naturally fell in the eyes of Wuxian and all the disciples of Zhijiao. Whether it was Wuxian or the disciples of Zhijiao, he knew that Saint Nuwa had a very good relationship with his teacher. These Yuanhui had always been with his teacher. Wuxian and all the disciples of Zhijiao had long regarded Saint Nuwa as one of their own. Interception of Zhijiao people. How can everyone agree to the interception? The power of Wuxian demon rises across the sky. Saint Nuwa is my teacher's best friend, who dares to stop her? Wuxian shouted, and the demonic power shook the void. At the same time, all the disciples of Zhijiao, following Wuxian's scolding, showed great power. In an instant, everyone present stared at the disciples of Zhijiao. What is the existence of Zhijiao? Every disciple is blessed with luck and merit. Once, the power of one religion could easily destroy the human sect and the Chan Xiao. Especially the leader of Zhijiao, Tongtian Saint, can be called an invincible saint. Existence. The four swords of killing immortals cut off the Yuanqi saint without any power to fight back. Behind the Zhijiao, there are still some unknown Taoist figures, and the unknown Taoist is a terrifying person who can fight against the way of heaven. No matter how many people are present, the saint, the Jade Emperor, or all the ancient great masters all have a shadow on Zhijiao. Why are Zhijiao's disciples here? I looked at him for a moment. Demon Saint Wuxian and the people who intercept the religion are here. Jiyan and Zunti looked very fearful. Why is this, the person who intercepted the teachings here? I cannot afford to offend this huge creature in heaven, Jade Emperor Haoshan muttered in his heart. What a terrible Jijiao disciple. We can't afford to offend the ancient great power, we can't afford to offend. All the great masters in the prehistoric era took a few steps back involuntarily, as if to make way for the Jijiao disciples. The ones present who had the most complicated hearts and expressions when they saw the Jijiao disciples were the immortals in the heaven. All the immortals, although they only had a ray of soul evolved by the power of heaven and resurrected from the list of gods, their memories are still there. Who destroyed them and how they destroyed them, they remember very clearly. All the immortals in heaven, in my heart, there is both anger and fear. Saint Nuwa, just go ahead and take advantage of the great path. This time I will wait for you to intercept the teaching again and see who dares to stop you. Wuxian said to Nuwa with respect in his tone. Good. Nu Wa nodded. Then, she felt happy in her heart. In her opinion, the disciples of Ji cult respecting and protecting themselves so much must have been specially warned by Tong Tien. But it can only be said that Nu Wa thinks too much. Tong Tien didn't give any instructions at all. Fellow Taoists, do you still want to stop me? Nu Wa asked the saints in front of her and Tianting. Just kidding, Jijiao Wuxian said such cruel words. Do they dare to stop them? Even if they dare, do they have the strength? Jijiao is so terrifying, the leader of Jijiao is even more terrifying. If he blocks Nuwa and offends Jijiao, does that mean he has not lived long enough? Fellow Daoist, Nuwa is joking, how dare we stop him? I smiled awkwardly and got out of the way very naturally. Fellow Daoist Nuwa, I have offended you a lot just now, please don't take it personally. That is, fellow Taoist Nuwa, don't be offended. Jiyan and Zunti quickly said with a flattering smile on their faces. As they spoke, they stepped back. Saint Nuwa, just now I lost my mind because of a great opportunity, so I was disrespectful. Please don't blame me, Saint Nuwa. The Jade Emperor said quickly with a very sincere apology. Then, he also stepped aside. Speaking of the Jade Emperor, he is not afraid of Lao Tzu and the Western sect, because although the saints of these two sects are very powerful, at least they will not act recklessly. But Jijiao was different. He would do what he said, and destroy him when he asked. Each of his disciples were even more ferocious. He didn't want to waste the few immortals he finally got by himself again. He would never do it if he offended Jijiao. Thank you fellow Taoists for your humility. Nu Wa did not let Ji Fang express her anger because of the previous obstruction. After saying a sentence, the holy body flew across the sky and arrived among the 3,000 avenues. The 3,000 avenues include all things. It is the strongest and highest power in the chaotic universe. The body has arrived. Among the 3,000 avenues, she immediately felt the horror of the 3,000 avenues. The 3,000 avenues at this moment are only the original origin. If she introduces it into herself and uses it to cultivate and understand the avenue, her strength will increase countless times. After feeling after the initial origin of the 3,000 avenues, Nuwa finally gained some understanding of the realm of the avenues mentioned by Tong Tien. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 144. Is this the Great Road? The implications in it are truly unfathomable and wonderful. Nu Wa exclaimed in a sweet voice. Then, Nu Wa searched for the original origin of the 3,000 avenues. Finally, she found the origin of one avenue. The Hunyuan way she cultivated was exactly the same as the original origin of this avenue. Average. However, the Hunyuan Dao that I cultivated is as weak as sand, while this avenue is as huge as the sky. It's you. Sacred power was exerted. the original source of the avenue was instantly introduced into her holy body. At the same time, the origin of the avenue had an inheritance and fell into Nuwa's mind. Immediately, Nuwa knew the origin of this avenue. Name. Her avenue is called the Avenue of Creation. Nuwa once realized the Hunyuan Tao by virtue of the merits of creating people, and later realized that it was the Hunyuan creation path. The Hunyuan creation path was originally a branch of the creation avenue. It is precisely because of this, Nuwa had the same feeling between the two before. After obtaining the avenue, Nuwa fell. The breath of the avenue of creation has been invisibly exuded in the holy body. With the original origin of the avenue of creation, the realm of realizing the avenue in the future is just around the corner. Nuwa's face was very happy. At the same time, she was also very anxious. She wanted to go back to the Chaos Tianhe formation and show Tongtian her own path. I have won the opportunity of the Great Road, and I will not stay here for long. Farewell, fellow Taoists. After saying that, Nuwa couldn't wait to leave in the air. Sage Nuwa has chosen the opportunity. Now it's my turn to wait. Just come with me. Just now, when Nuwa had the opportunity to get the chance of the great Dao, Liushan and a group of Zhijiao disciples stood on the same spot and frightened everyone. But now Nuwa has got the opportunity. Liushan walked in directly with all the junior disciples. Honghuang Zichi still has the void of 3,000 avenues. When they walked in, all the disciples of Zhijiao raised their eyebrows. They completely ignored the saints, heavenly court, and all the great powers in the prehistoric times. Before, the saints, the heavenly court, and all the great powers in the prehistoric times. They can argue endlessly. But now, watching Zhijiao enter to seize the Honghuang purple qi and the opportunity of the avenue. Not to mention not even daring to say a word no, even breathing is suppressed as much as possible. I am afraid that the breathing is too loud and offends Zhijiao disciples. You can imagine how afraid everyone present is of Zhijiao. Junior brothers, please go and get the Honghuang purple qi. Liushan waved his hand and said. Yes, senior brother. The junior disciples below Duobao quickly stepped forward to collect the Honghuang purple qi. But Liushan stayed where he was. Liushan was already Hunyuan, and the Honghuang purple qi was completely useless to him. But after a while, all the disciples of Zhijiao, everyone got a copy of Honghuang purple qi. Junior brother Duobao, junior brother Tong Jimanho, junior sister Jin Lingwudang, junior brother Kasidagarba, you have obtained the Honghuang purple qi, now follow me up to get it and achieve the opportunity. The rest, the disciples of Zhijiao, stay where they are. Whoever dares to act rashly among these various forces can just call me and I will kill them. Liushan said indifferently. Yes, senior brother. The disciples of Zhijiao nodded in response. Then their eyes showed a sharp look again, scanning the various forces. When the disciples of Zhijiao were scanning, whether it was the saints, the heavens, or the great powers, they all instinctively chose to avoid it. There is no other way, for fear of offending Zhijiao. Duobao, Tongjiahe, Jinling Wudang, and Kasidagarba followed Liushan into the 3,000 avenues. Although these 3,000 avenues are now only the original origin, there is also a strong deterrent effect in it. Without the protection of the holy power of Hunyuan, it is not easy to resist. After Liushan sensed the initial deterrent, he quickly used the holy power to protect Duobao. Junior brothers, I will use my holy power to protect you and others. You and others should go and get the opportunity of the great avenue first. Liushan said. Yes, senior brother. After Duobao and the others heard the sound and nodded in response, they quickly jumped in. In just a moment, Duobao obtained the avenue of anger among the 3,000 avenues, and the invisible power of anger accompanied the Tao body. The Thong-armed ape got the 3,000 avenues. On the avenue of war, a will to fight emerges from time to time. Jinling Liudang obtained the avenue of life and the avenue of harmony. One of them was full of vitality, and the other had a mysterious sound. Kasidagarba, on the other hand, obtained the avenue of suppression. A bit of majesty and awe appeared in the golden light of merit. Thank you, senior brother, for your protection. Duobeo and others thanked each other one after another after getting the opportunity. No need to be polite. Just wait a moment, and I'll go get a copy of the great opportunity. Just now he has been protecting the junior brothers and sisters, but Wuxian himself has not taken the initiative to introduce the avenue. However, when he just protected him, he has already taken a fancy to one of the 3,000 avenues. The origin of that avenue contains Wuxian's most powerful he likes to kill. He leaps in from the air. But in the blink of an eye, he has reached the original source of the great avenue he values. It's you. Wuxian sneered, and the demonic power showed. In an instant, the original origin of the avenue of killing has been introduced into the body by Wuxian. What Wuxian introduced is the avenue of killing. Among the 3,000 avenues, it ranks at the forefront. Wuxian and others fell down and stood next to the disciples of Ji Xiao. Although the disciples of Ji Xiao only went to 6 of the 3,000 avenues this time, a lot of Hongmeng purple energy went away. Please guide, Quan Ti, and return the Jade Emperor, and the primordial powers looked at it with jealousy. But no one dared to make any sense. The opportunity had been obtained. Wuxian no longer seemed like he would stay for a long time again. Junior fellow apprentices, follow me back to Jijiao. Wuxian waved his hand, and the demonic power flew across the sky. A group of Jijiao disciples followed him back. Seeing the Jijiao people leaving, everyone present breathed a sigh of relief. Just now, when the Jijiao disciples were there, everyone that's called being cautious. You are on high alert every second. What you are afraid of is offending the disciples of Ji Xiao, and then the consequences of Chan Jiao will be tragic. Everyone, Jijiao has left, it's time for us to discuss a solution, I said. Good, Ji Yin nodded, and then said with a greedy look in his eyes, how about this? How about we share the Hongmeng purple qi and the opportunity of the avenue equally among the 3 parties? This method of attracting the saint is a good one. When the Jade Emperor heard this, he was immediately moved. If the 3 parties share it equally, Heavenly Court can win a lot. I have to say that neither I, nor Jingyan Zunti, nor the Jade Emperor are too greedy. They even thought about 3,000. The Great Dao and the Hongmeng purple qi are all divided up. Not to mention that one person can only take one of the 3,000 Great Dao, but one must have great opportunities and great luck. Among the 3 parties, except for Laozi, Ji Yanzunti, and the Jade Emperor, are qualified to take the Grand Dao. Apart from this, there was no one else at all, not even the Queen Mother Yaokai, who was traveling with the Jade Emperor. Besides, if it were to be divided among the 3 parties, how could the great masters of the ancient world allow it? In an instant, all the great masters of the ancient world were not happy. Saints, we do not agree. Yes, if the saints are so strong, we can only rob them in chaos. The chance of the Great Road is Hongmengziki. Even though the great powers in the prehistoric era are not as strong as the saints and Jade Emperors, they are already crazy. They have the momentum to dare to pull down the saints even if they are willing to be killed. Let's see who dares. The Jade Emperor came out with a powerful look. He looked very threatening. Are you serious? I dare not take action to suppress you. Jian, and Zunti also showed their holy power one after another with the intention of forcing. Seeing the overwhelming force from the 3 parties, all the great powers in the prehistoric era were preparing to rise up in chaos. But at this moment, 4 evil energies were rampant. Kong. It was none other than the 4th ancestor of zombies. Behind him were the Duke of the East and the Queen Mother of the West, who had disappeared for many years. We, by the order of the Lord, come to take advantage of the opportunity. The ferocious aura, intimidating power, and unruly expression did not put everyone in their eyes at all. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 145. A vicious sound came. Everyone stared at him. The fourth ancestor of zombies. Prince of the East, Queen Mother of the West. Suddenly, the eyes were dull. The four zombie ancestors, the East Prince, and the Queen Mother of the West are not scary in themselves. Nothing remarkable. But there is a person behind them, let alone a saint. Even fighting against the way of heaven is no problem. The disciples of the Saint Tongtian have just left, and the servants of the unknown Taoist have arrived at the back. They didn't dare to offend Ji Xiao, and they didn't dare to offend this mysterious unknown Taoist. All the saints, as well as all the great powers from the beginning, had ugly expressions on their faces. As for the Jade Emperor, his face was full of fear. Many Yuanhui ago, their heaven had many powerful generals. However, because they prevented the establishment of the 10,000 Immortals sect, they were all wiped out by the East Prince, the Queen Mother of the West, and the four zombie ancestors. The Jade Emperor was very timid at the moment, really afraid that these statues would go berserk and sweep away his heaven again. When seeing these people, the Jade Emperor subconsciously stood behind these saints. One can imagine how scared the Jade Emperor was. I am here at the command of the Lord, who dares to stop me this time? Kill. The general's ferocious nature was fully displayed, and his ferocious power filled the void. He showed a murderous aura. To be honest, the four ancestors of the zombies all have a ferocious aura. In terms of murderous nature, few in the world can match it. Comparatively, if someone really dares to stop them, they will kill without hesitation. They are the kind of people who are not afraid of death, nor are they afraid of pain, and will never give up until the enemy is defeated. However, just as the word kill was written, the general said. In an instant, the saints, the Jade Emperor, and the great masters from the prehistoric era immediately made way for the four ancestors of the zombies to open a broad road. Previously, the saints and the Jade Emperor were so strong, but now they are as weak as anything. As for the prehistoric people, a powerful person. They have the courage to go crazy with all the saints in heaven, but they don't have the courage to go crazy with the unknown Taoist. From this scene, it is enough to prove that the fear of the unknown Taoist by everyone in the prehistoric era is not at all inferior to that of Jijiao. However, these people have no idea that the person they are afraid of is actually the same person. Tongtian is Wuoming, Wuoming is Tongtian. Seeing that everyone is interested, they make way for a road. The fourth zombie ancestor, as well as the East Prince and the West Queen Mother, jump directly into the zombie. The fourth patriarch, without any hesitation, took 4 Hongmeng purple chi. The East Prince and the West Queen Mother, after taking the Hongmeng purple chi respectively, glanced towards the 3,000 avenues above. Obviously, the two of them had intentions. Take Sankin Avenue. The Lord said that there is no great opportunity or great merit, and great opportunity is harmful but useless. The general reminded me. Although Dong Guanggong and Zhuangmu founded the 10,000 Immortals sect, the luck of the 10,000 Immortals sect is very weak. It is not considered a great luck. Besides, with the qualifications of the two of them, becoming Hunyuan is already the limit. Thanks for the reminder, Zhang Ziyu. The East Prince and the Queen Mother of the West would naturally not doubt what their lord said. Then, they immediately gave up the opportunity of the Great Road. The opportunity has been taken, it's time for us to go. After the fourth zombie ancestor finished speaking, he left directly in the air. The East Prince and the Queen Mother of the West followed closely behind. Seeing the 4 zombie ancestors leaving, the Jade Emperor walked out from behind the saints. And the saints, and other powerful people, they breathed a sigh of relief again. To say it, it was not easy for them, all kinds of fighting, all kinds of pretense, all kinds of strength. However, the truly awesome people came, and they were so scared that they even lost their temper. Don't dare to breathe. Finally gone. Zhijiao and the servants of the unknown Taoist are all here, I think there should be no one else. I said, ready to continue the topic of the three-party carve-up. However. Ouch! Ouch! The sound of hundreds of dragon chants broke through the sky. Dragon chant? The dragon clan is coming? I'm face stiffened. Ji Yin, Zunti, and the Jade Emperor all looked at each other. The faces of all the powerful officials in the prehistoric era were very ugly. Please listen. When Long Yin came, everyone present was surprised or stunned. But in the heaven, two people were trembling. It was none other than Tai Jinren and his disciple who had died under the bombardment of 10,000 dragons. Then the horror of the bombardment by 10,000 dragons will not be forgotten in this life, I am afraid that I will not forget it in the next life. I have to say that these two people are really pitiful. The entire Fengshen is the worst in the whole prehistoric period. They are the worst in terms of death. Master and disciple definitely rank first. No one before, now, or in the future will end up like that. The old golden dragon Aojin, with a dragon body of 10,000 feet, is flying in the sky. Behind him, first are 4 purple gold dragons. These 4 dragons are he is the current dragon king of the 4 seas. And behind the dragon king of the 4 seas, there are more than 100 dragon clans of different colors. But all the dragon clans who come here have killed more than 3 corpses. The aura coming from each dragon is like it was extremely terrifying. All of them had reached the level above the top of killing 3 corpses. These more than 100 dragons were the elites of the dragon clan. All of them had gained the power of the law because of the enlightenment tea presented by Tong Tien. The old golden dragon led the 100 dragons. Yulong stands in front of the saints, the Jade Emperor, and all the great powers from the beginning. Dao Ancestor has given us a great opportunity, and our dragon clan should be a part of it. Old Jinlong said in a tone that showed the dominance of the dragon clan. I, Ji Yin, Zunti, the Jade Emperor, and everyone else in Honghuang saw more than 100 dragon clan. Their eyes were very painful. Before, the disciples of Ji Jiao had already arrived. I took a lot of Hongmeng purple qi and the origin of the 6 paths. Later, the 10,000 immortal sect and the 4 zombie ancestors came. Now there are more than 100 dragon tribes. These 3 are existences that I dare not provoke. The more than 100 dragon tribes, this rhythm requires taking away hundreds of Hongmeng purple qi. They fought for a long time, but before they started to take it, they saw the Hongmeng purple qi and the 3,000 avenues decreasing little by little. They didn't dare to say no. No matter it was me, or maybe it was Jingyin Zunti, or maybe the Jade Emperor and all of you in the prehistoric times were all extremely aggrieved. Dragon Clan, follow me in to get the Hongmeng purple qi. The dragon body of the old golden dragon flew across the sky again. The other hundreds of dragon clans followed closely behind. When they entered to take the Hongmeng purple qi, neither the old golden dragon nor the dragon clan paid any attention to the saints, the Jade Emperor, and the prehistoric people. Almighty! Even, without even looking at it. Such arrogance! During the whole process, the dragon clan was as if they were taking their own things. The 3 saints of Zunti want to cry. Although you have Tong Tien behind you, so do we after all. Saint! Can't you be polite? Do you have to rush in so arrogantly? And completely ignore us? Although you are complaining in your heart, you dare to complain in your heart. There is no way, the dragon clan is not only powerful, but also has Tong Tien behind it. They can't afford it. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 146. The Dragon Clan, led by Aojin, jumped in directly. Just a moment. More than 100 dragons from the Dragon Clan have received the Hongmeng Purple Chi one after another. This means that the great powers, saints, and Jade Emperor of the ancient world are missing more than 100 Hongmeng Purple Chi. Seeing the dragons receiving the Hongmeng Purple Chi, Aojin no longer paid attention to the Hongmeng Purple Chi below, but looked at the 3,000 avenues above. The dragons use their dragon power to help me gain the opportunity of the Great Road. Aojin shouted. The dragon body rose across the sky. Hearing the sound, more than 100 dragons immediately appeared with dragon roars. The power of more than 100 dragons instantly blessed Aojin's dragon body. At this moment, the power of more than 100 dragons increased. The aura on Aojin's body was very powerful, already comparable to the Hunyuan level. He jumped into the 3,000 avenues. In just a blink of an eye, Aojin found an opportunity for the avenue. The original source of the avenue entered the dragon body, and it immediately appeared in his mind. He has inherited the origin of the avenue. His avenue is called the Avenue of Ba. It is very in line with the temperament of the Dragon Clan. Aojin looked overjoyed when he got the opportunity of the avenue. My Dragon Clan returns to the sea. Ouch! Aojin let out a dragon roar, and the giant dragon body flew across the air with domineering force. There were more than 100 dragons behind him, not far behind. The whole process was the same as the previous Jijiao and the fourth ancestor of zombies, and they didn't pay attention to anyone here. This time, people related to the unknown Taoist and junior brother Tong Tian have all come. I guess no one will come again, I thought in my heart. I wanted to think so, but I waited for a long time, waited for the three saints, the Jade Emperor, and the great power of the great wilderness. After seeing no one coming, I finally relaxed my mind. There is no unknown Taoist. No Jijiao came again. I, Jian, Zunti, and the Jade Emperor felt that they should be the ones to dominate here. Now they have the final say in everything. Three saints, now we begin to divide the Hongmeng Purple Chi, and there are still 3,000 avenues, the Jade Emperor suggested. Good. The three saints nodded in unison. They couldn't wait to divide the Hongmeng Purple Chi and the 3,000 avenues. Several people thought in their hearts that if they got the Hongmeng Purple Chi, they would strengthen their sect, and if they got the 3,000 avenues to strengthen their own strength, they would not be afraid of interception in the future. There are still unknown Taoists in the religion. I can only say that the idea is very beautiful. The great powers of the ancient times have seen that the three parties really intend to divide them all. How can they let the three parties do what they want? Saints and Jade Emperor, if you really carve it up, we, the mighty men of the prehistoric times, can only fight to the death and rob it in chaos. That is, at worst, we will die here. The great masters of the ancient times showed desperate expressions. After saying that, the great masters of the ancient world showed their power one after another, and even among them they even used corpse-slaying magic weapons. Seeing such a state, I take the next step. Yanzunti and the Jade Emperor showed their anger and strength. Do you also want to fight me to the death? What a joke! He laughed disdainfully. The saints have already revealed their holy power. The Jade Emperor Haoshan and Queen Mother Yaokai also sacrificed their magic weapons and summoned all the immortals to prepare for the war. Although the great powers of the prehistoric era are numerous in number. However, the saints after all, he is a saint, and there are still three saints here. The holy power showed up and immediately suppressed all the great powers in the ancient world. Saints, you have gone too far. How can you seize this great opportunity? I, Zhen Yuanzi, don't agree either. A body flew across the sky, and the book of the earth was already suspended in the void. Originally, Zhen Yuanzi had been paying attention to this place, but he never came here. Zheng Yuanzi was not a person who was eager for success and profit. He originally wanted to wait until everyone divided. Come and get another portion for yourself. But it is unimaginable that the saint wants to monopolize it and does not give any chance to the great powers of the prehistoric times. In this way, even though Zheng Yuanzi is not a person who is eager for success and profit, he can't stand it anymore. It has to be said that Zheng Yuanzi's book From the Earth is a rare treasure. It can be said to be invincible in defense. Even a saint can withstand one or two. When Zheng Yuanzi and the book From the Earth appeared, the momentum of the great powers in the prehistoric era suddenly became stronger. Dear saints, everyone has a share of the great opportunity given by Taoist ancestors, but you will take it all later. How could this be true? The 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors of our race also don't agree. There was another voice across the sky. Immediately afterwards, I saw a huge light of luck suddenly appearing in the void. It was none other than Fuxi, who led the other 2 emperors and 5 emperors of the human race. Each of the 3 emperors and 5 emperors of the human race has his own destiny. Great luck. In terms of combat power, everyone is also the best among the best. The 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors fell into the queue of the great powers of the prehistoric world. In an instant, the momentum of the great powers of the prehistoric world rose sharply. First there was the Book of the Earth, and then the human race. The 3 emperors and 5 emperors have great luck. At this moment, the great powers of the prehistoric era have already gained considerable power. Although they are not as powerful as the saints and the Jade Emperor. But if a war breaks out, it will definitely not be easy for the saints and the Jade Emperor. Even though the saint will not die, he will definitely be seriously injured under the desperate efforts of all the powerful madmen in the prehistoric era. Previously, he only joined Zheng Yuanzi. The 3 saints and the Jade Emperor did not take it seriously at all. But now the 3 emperors and 5 emperors of the human race have come in an instant. The 3 saints and the Jade Emperor frowned. Obviously, they also felt that this was a bit difficult. Everyone, the saints' intention to seize the great opportunity is obvious. We don't need to discuss with them and just start grabbing. Okay, you can grab as much as you can, and whoever grabs it will get it. It doesn't matter if he's a saint or whatever, a great opportunity is in front of him, and even a saint can't stop it. A shouting voice came out. In an instant, it aroused the response of all the great powers in the world. The pressure of the aura became more and more chaotic. When the saints and the Jade Emperor saw this situation, their fierce expressions suddenly appeared. If you want to rob me, you will be dead today. Yes, how can we, the saints, allow you to be so presumptuous? Yanjian scolded, and the holy power shocked the void. Seeing that the chaotic war was about to break out. In the Zixiao Palace, after Hongzhun introduced the 3,000 avenues and Hongmeng purple qi, he closed his eyes and pushed the prehistoric world from the chaotic Xiaoqi, and the world evolved into 1,000 worlds in chaos. However, when the evolution was halfway through, heaven warned Hongzhun that there would be chaos in the prehistoric world. Hongzhun was very puzzled. He had just led the 3,000 avenues and Hongmeng purple qi, and all the people in the prehistoric world had. Shouldn't all living beings now take the Hongmeng purple qi, take the opportunity of the great Dao, and quickly practice and prove the Hunyuan and prove the great Dao? Where did the chaos come from? Opening his eyes, the power of heaven patrolled. He immediately saw his own the 3 disciples, as well as the 2 Taoist boys, intended to occupy all the Hongmeng purple qi and the 3,000 avenues, and were also preparing to start a war with the great masters of the great desolate world. Suddenly, Hongzhun was very angry. He used the power of heaven to lure down the 3,000 Dao. The purpose of the Hongmeng purple qi of the great Dao is to balance the prehistoric world and prevent chaos from occurring in the prehistoric world. He, Hongzhun, said before that everyone has a share of the great opportunity. If you come to dominate, forget it, and trigger a chaotic war. How unreasonable. Even though Hongzhun was already a saint of heaven, he couldn't hold it back in his heart. Lao Tzu, take the lead, Zunti, you guys, stop it. Hongzhun screamed in anger, and the color of the heaven and earth changed. The holy voice of heaven was transmitted into the void with a chilling meaning. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 147. Teacher. I, take the lead and mention it. The Jade Emperor was stunned. From Hongzhun's holy voice of heaven, they naturally felt the anger and chill. What's wrong with the teacher? Why is he angry? Why did the Taoist ancestor send a message? How many times? Obviously, people still don't know why Hongzhun made a sound. However, for a moment, a purple lotus appeared. A shadow of the ancient world appeared in the void. Hongzhun was really angry this time. When he appeared, he glared angrily. The three saints and the Jade Emperor showed a stern attitude. See the teacher. Meet Tao ancestor. The three saints and the Jade Emperor quickly saluted in panic. You guys, didn't you hear what I said when I first led down the 3,000 great avenues and the Hongmeng purple qi? I have already said that all living beings in the 3,000 avenues and the primordial purple qi can obtain it. Who gave you the courage to dominate? Hongzhun's scolding voice was like thunder. The murderous aura in the void was even more serious. I, Jian, Zunti, and the Jade Emperor all had their faces stiff. Now several people understand why Hongzhun is angry. Even with the intention of killing. You are just waiting for supremacy, but now you actually intend to start a melee. Do you think Honghuang is too quiet? Or do you think that Tiandao and I dare not punish you? Don't you dare to destroy you? Hongzhun scolded, like a sharp sword, piercing the hearts of the holy Jade Emperors. I, take the lead, Zunti. Each of the Jade Emperors was trembling in their hearts. Even if they were wrong before, they would always favor them. But this time, Hongzhun actually said such words as destroying you. What does this mean? It means that the teacher is really angry, really angry. They don't have the strength of the Wuming Taoist. There is no Wuming Taoist who can fight against the way of heaven. Such courage. I was trembling with fear inside, and my face was even more ugly. Teacher, I realized I was wrong. Teacher, we are greedy this time. I, take the lead, Zunti quickly admitted his mistake. Dao ancestor, Haoshan knew he was wrong. The Jade Emperor Haoshan quickly admitted his mistake. Next time, I will definitely punish you severely. Hongzhun shouted coldly, his warning meaning even more obvious. Teacher, there will never be a next time for us. All the saints and the Jade Emperor, at the same time, were like chickens pecking at rice, nodding their heads. I, please guide me, Zunti, Jade Emperor, please stand aside. This time, the opportunity of the Hongmeng purple qi and the 3,000 avenues will be taken first by the creatures of the primitive world. You can wait until they take it. Don't wait for cholera to happen again. Hongzhun said indifferently. As soon as Hongzhun said this, the faces of the great masters in the prehistoric era were overjoyed. The great masters in the prehistoric world did not expect that Taoist Hongzhun would be so partial to them this time. Let them take Hongmeng purple qi and 3,000 avenues of opportunity first. This is simply not too good. Thank you Daozhu. Thank you Daozhu. All the great powers from the ancient world saluted and thanked them repeatedly. Then, all the great powers from the ancient world rushed into the void and began to take the Hongmeng purple qi. The great powers from the ancient world were happy. But I, please guide, Quan Ti, Jade the emperors are miserable. It's fine if they can't dominate, but now they have to let all the great masters of the prehistoric world take the first step. Before, Jijiao, the fourth ancestor of the zombies, and the dragon clan just had to take the first step. Now, even the prehistoric ones have to take it first. All the great powers have taken their turn in front of them. When did they, the saints in heaven, lose their status like this? After giving in to this, you have to give in to that. Jain, Zunti, Jade Emperor, all of them want to cry in their hearts. Although they were extremely depressed inside, none of them dared to complain. Just kidding, Taoist Hongjun was here. They had just said such serious words, did they dare to complain? It was impossible to say that a single complaint was uttered, which angered Hongjun. Jun directly punished them severely. After the great masters of the prehistoric era rushed into the Hongmeng purple qi, they did not hesitate to collect them. With the Tao ancestor here, the great masters of the prehistoric era were not in chaos. Generally, 1 or 2 beams of the Hongmeng purple qi would be enough. However, there are a huge number of people. If one person takes 1 or 2, that is a lot of Hongmeng purple qi. In the blink of an eye, when everyone took the Hongmeng purple qi, they went to see the Hongmeng purple qi. I saw a lot of Hongmeng purple qi before. At this moment, there are only a few paths left. After the 3 parties are divided, it is a bit difficult for one person to divide the 3 Hongmeng purple qi. To be honest, this is because all the great powers in the prehistoric era see Tao ancestor here and give him face. Otherwise, all the great powers in the great wilderness will, I'm afraid I'll take them all directly. Lead, Zunti, the Jade Emperor saw very few Hongmeng purple qi. Really, they almost cried. After all the great masters in the prehistoric era took the Hongmeng purple qi, in an instant, he looked towards the 3,000 avenue opportunities above the void. Among them were several ordinary powerful men who could kill 3 corpses. When they were about to take the opportunity, they could not bear the original majesty of the avenue and were directly frightened and forced to retreat. Hey, how could this great opportunity be like this? The first few tried, and a few more followed, but without exception, they were all frightened and retreated. Dao ancestor, why can't we get this great opportunity? The 3 corpse-killing expert who just wanted to take advantage of the great road quickly asked the Tao ancestor respectfully. This great opportunity is the origin of the original great road of chaos. If you want to obtain it, you can only obtain it unless you have the holy power of Hunyuan, or have great merit and great luck to protect you. Hongjun said indifferently. So that's it, we don't have the holy power of Hunyuan, the great merits and great luck. It seems that we have no chance to obtain this great opportunity for the time being. Getting the Hongmeng purple qi is considered good luck. Some ordinary 3 corpse-killing masters, after hearing Hongjun's words, immediately and wisely chose to give up. For a while, many 3 corpse-killing masters who did not have great luck and great merit chose to leave directly. However, among them, there are some great opportunities, great merits, and a great master who wants to try to kill 3 corpses. 5 emperors, bring luck to my 3 emperors. Fuxi shouted with a deep breath. Yes. The 5 emperors of the human race nodded quickly, and their luck was activated, directly blessing the bodies of Fuxi, Swiren, and Sheneng. In an instant, the bodies of the 3 emperors of the human race had a surge of luck. The Swiren clan and the Sheneng clan follow me to achieve the opportunity. Fuxi rose up in the sky. Good. The Swiren clan and the Sheneng clan moved after hearing the sound and followed closely. The 3 of them entered the original source of the avenue. In the blink of an eye, Fuxi took out the Yuji Dao. The Shen Nong clan took out the Yuji Dao. The Swiren clan took out the Yuji Dao. The road to burning. Thanks to Dao ancestor, we have the opportunity of the great Dao. After Fuxi and the others took it, they bowed to Hongjun. Speaking of which, Fuxi is Tongtian's younger brother. And Fuxi really has the opportunity to be a great man, and the one he should be most grateful to is Tongtian. And the other great powers in the prehistoric times also same. Because it wasn't Tong Tien who plotted against Hung Jun and forced Hung Jun to lead Hongmeng Purple Chi 3000 avenues. How could they have this opportunity? After a while, Fuxi returned to the human race with the other 2 emperors and 5 emperors of the human race. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the Great Way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 148. After 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. There are also Zhen Yuanzi and other 3 corpse-killing experts who have great merit and great luck, and have obtained the original origin of the 3000 avenues. There is still some left, some luck and merit, but not enough. In the end, he was frightened by the original source of the avenue and retreated. The 3 saints and the Jade Emperor saw all the great powers in the prehistoric times. They took what should be taken and what should go. It was finally their turn. Several people felt unspeakably depressed. Hongmeng Purple Chi. There are a total of 8 Hongmeng Purple Chi. They have 3 parties, and it is impossible to divide them equally. But if the distribution is uneven, whoever gets less will definitely not be happy. If Hung Jun was not here, Jian Zunti would definitely force the Jade Emperor. But now Hung Jun's shadow is already in the void. Moreover, he had already been reprimanded by Hung Jun for his dominance. At this moment, neither I nor Jingyan Zunti nor the Jade Emperor dared to say how to divide this Hongmeng Purple Chi. Lao Tzu, Ji Yin, wait for the 2 sects, each of you will take 3 portions, and give the remaining 2 points to Haoshan, Hung Jun said indifferently at this time. I and Ji Yin got a lot. The Jade Emperor got a little, so naturally he was a little unhappy. But if you are not happy, you are not happy, and you don't dare to complain at all. However, I and Ji Yin got it. They were not happy about the extra points. Most of the Hongmeng Purple Chi that had been taken away by the great primordial masters. They only got so few points, how could they be happy? Is teacher? Yes, Daezu. A few people nodded and responded respectfully. After the 3 parties each took the Hongmeng Purple Chi, they looked towards the original source of the 3000 avenues in the void. There is not much Hongmeng Purple Chi left. But there is still more of the original source of the 3000 avenues. There is a thought in my heart. Thinking about it, although Hongmeng Purple Chi can't be obtained much, the original source of the 3000 avenues must be obtained as much as possible. Soon. I, Jian, Zunti, Jade Emperor, and Queen Mother will all rise up in the sky. Both Jian and Zunti are saints, and they can naturally resist the original source of the avenue. But the Jade Emperor and the Queen Mother are not saints. Especially the Queen Mother. The Jade Emperor Haoshan has great luck in heaven, but the Queen Mother does not have much luck. The moment he went up, he was immediately intimidated by the original source of the avenue and was forced back. When the Jade Emperor Haoshan saw Queen Mother Yaokai being forced to retreat, he wanted to use his luck to help Yer. However, when he used his luck, immediately felt that Qi Lunruo was moving, and was told that he could not help Queen Mother Yaokai, and he was afraid that he would have to retreat. So, he had no choice but to go to the center of the origin of the avenue. When I and Jian Zunti saw the 3000 avenues, they immediately I want to snatch a few of them. But the original origins of the avenues are incompatible with each other. Obtaining one is already the limit. If I want to get more, it will definitely cause the backlash of the original origins of multiple avenues. When the 3 saints looked happy, they used the power of the holy power. When he absorbed the original origins of several avenues and wanted to integrate them into himself. In an instant, the initial origins of several avenues suddenly burst out with strong counter-attack power. Bang! 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 I only heard 3 loud noises coming from the void. The holy power of the 3 saints was instantly blasted away, and the holy body of the 3 saints was forced back thousands of miles because of the backlash power. Hung Jun, who had been in the void, frowned slightly and looked indifferent. He scolded, "You are really stupid to wait for a few disciples. The original source of this avenue is the strongest force in the world, and they are incompatible with each other. How dare you try to introduce multiple avenues into your body? Do you really think that if you are Honghuang, there is nothing in this world that can make you fall? If you dare to be so stupid again and try to attract the origin of multiple avenues, you will definitely be killed by the backlash." The three saints listened for a moment. Inducing the origin of multiple avenues, can they die and disappear? Suddenly, the three saints felt a cold sweat in their hearts. What if the three saints were killed by the great opportunity because of seizing the opportunity? The three saints, "I'm afraid I'll cry to death." "Thank you, teacher, for informing me." The three sages were still frightened. Then, they went to the avenue of opportunity again. This time they did not dare to be so greedy. "I obtained the Dao Di Dao. Jiyin took the Duhua Dao. Zunti took the Nirvana Dao." The Jade Emperor saw the saint obtained the avenue and quickly began to choose the original source of the avenue. In the previous example of the three saints, the saint who took the original source of multiple avenues could die, so he naturally did not dare to be greedy. In the end, the Jade Emperor took the 3,000 avenues. The Dao of order among them. After receiving the Dao, Zunti, and the Jade Emperor, they bid farewell to Honghuang and went back to practice. They all thought about it when they went back. In the future, the Dao will be successful, and their sex will. As your luck increases, you will have nothing to fear. In the midst of teaching regarding the great powers of the prehistoric times, the saints, the Jade Emperor's opportunity, and the scene where Honghuang appeared, naturally everything is in the eyes of Tongtian. Regarding the greed of the saints and the Jade Emperor, Tongtian only thinks it is completely stupid. 3,000 avenues, many Hongmeng have descended. Honghuang promotes the evolution of the wild world, it has become inevitable. The next step in the 1,000 worlds of chaos is the great 1,000 worlds of chaos. However, if you want to become a world of chaos, you still need to reverse the journey to the west and measure tribulations. Journey to the west to measure calamity seems to be an opportunity for the two Western religions to prosper. In this life, I am afraid that you, Jiyin Zunti, will not have a chance to prosper. Tongtian sneered. At this moment, Nuwa and all the disciples have returned. Liushan, Duobeo, Tongji Yuanho, Jinling Wudang and Kasidagarba sent the juniors back to Jijiao, and then returned to their own homes. He was in the general trend. The other disciples consciously entered the Supreme Palace to understand the way of Honghuang. The remaining Nuwa unceremoniously opened the Chaos Tianhe formation and entered it. Tongtian, do you know what avenue I took? After Nuwa came in, she looked very happy and said, "The great road of creation, all things are created by creation, and creation spreads through all realms." Tongtian smiled indifferently. Not only did Tongtian tell the name of Nuwa's avenue, but he also revealed the true meaning of Nuwa's avenue. "You actually know my true meaning," Nuwa was shocked. In her opinion, only she who had inherited the true meaning of this avenue should know it. However, Tongtian knew it. She was very curious about how Tongtian knew it. As a time traveler, there is no need to know about the 3,000 avenues. Too familiar. I have said it before, there is nothing in this ancient land that I do not know. Tongtian smiled. Hurry up and practice quickly, hurry up and break through the realm of the Great Road. After many Yuanhui events, there will be many great events, and only then will Dao realm be eligible to participate, then the Tongtian Dao. Big excitement. Only those in the realm of the Great Avenue can participate. Nuwa's eyes moved. She was curious in her heart, what kind of excitement is it? Will Dao realm be introduced to participate in it? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to E. Author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 149. 3,000 avenues, many great things entered the primitive world. The power of heaven drives evolution. The prehistoric land finally changed from a small world of chaos to 1,000 worlds of chaos. The spiritual energy surged 10,000 times. The creatures in the ancient wilderness that were originally weak and lacked opportunities began to grow crazily. And most of those great powers who have received great opportunities have begun to realize the great way of Honghuang. As for the few saints who had already achieved Honghuang, they began to realize the great Dao after Honghuang reached its peak. Today, I, my father, have proven the great path of morality. In the 8 Views Palace of Tianweishan, the power of a great avenue appeared across the sky, which was the moral power of Lao Tzu. The Tao is very Tao, and for a time, Lao Tzu's Taoist temple seemed very mysterious. Suan Du, a former disciple of Lao Tzu, Yi Zhenren are all on the list. Now in the human religion, only 3 boys are left. The 3 Hongmeng purple chi I obtained were all given to these 3 boys. Congratulations to the leader. The 3 boys bowed and saluted full of envy. I, the saint, have achieved greatness. What a mysterious moral power. The great masters who did not have the opportunity of the great way cast envious glances. But the great powers who had the opportunity of the great way, saw the power of the great way, yearned for it one after another, and worked hard to practice. After Lao Tzu, there are 2 Western sects. Today, I will cite the great path of enlightenment. Today, I will prove the great way of nirvana. The sacred sounds of the 2 great avenues appeared through the sky. The avenue of transformation that led to the introduction, and the avenue of annihilation that Zunti brought. The power of the 2 avenues filled the void of Western religions. Congratulations to both leaders. Buddhists from the Western religion, the giant Buddhas all bowed respectfully. The 3 saints are really fast. He actually broke through the great Dao realm after only me. Envy voices came one after another. On the Western sect void sky, Jiyan and Zunti Lingli looked arrogant. Senior brother, both of us have broken through the great Dao realm. From now on, our Western sect will definitely suppress the West, Zunti said with a pretentious look. Yes, we are the only 2 people in the West who are in the realm of the great Dao, who dares to compare, Jiyan also nodded his head proudly. The 2 of them had just finished speaking with their faces full of pride. In the meantime, a streak of demonic energy appeared in the sky along with the overwhelming murderous intent. Today, I, the demon sect Wu Tian, proves the path to death. Whoever dares to offend our demon sect must be killed to stop the killing. The sound of endless killing came, instantly shocking the ancient land. Yin and Zunti, who were originally very proud and pretentious, paused. The next second, their faces turned ugly. They thought they had broken through the avenue. In this realm, it will take a long time for the demon sect's Wuxin to break through. They originally wanted to take advantage of the time when Wuxin breaks through to strengthen the Western sect. After all, the Western sect has been suppressed miserably before. Development. To restore the decadent state of Western religion. However, this idea has just come up, and Wuxin of the Western demonic cult has already achieved enlightenment. Moreover, it seems that he also knows that the 2 of them want to develop Western religion, and directly speaks out in order to provoke the demon sect. Wuxin will kill to stop them. Wuxin is full of murderous aura, and there is Tongtianjia sect behind him. After saying this, how dare they have any ambition to develop the Western section? What they are thinking about now is, the Western religion must be careful and must not provoke the devil's religion. Congratulations to the leader. All the great demons and disciples of the demon sect congratulated one after another. The demonic sect has no way to prove the great way. This Wuxin is senior brother Ji Xiao. This senior brother Ji Xiao has achieved the great Dao. Presumably several of his junior brothers will soon be able to do so too. Wuxian's few junior brothers who have been given the opportunity to have a great chance all have great luck or great merits. Many powerful people in the prehistoric era were talking about it. The 6 disciples of Jijiao all got the opportunity of the great Dao. Wuxian had already proved Hunyuan early, so it is natural that he should break through the great Dao one step earlier now. However, the other 5 disciples did not lag behind for too long. Only 100 years later, in the Pangu palace of the Wu clan, an angry force suddenly appeared in the sky. Today I teach my disciples many treasures to realize the great path of anger. Duo Bao's fat figure suddenly showed an extremely serious attitude. The avenue of anger shocked the world. Duo Bao is the second disciple of Jijiao, right? They were not even Hunyuan many years ago. Unexpectedly, just a few years ago, they not only broke through Hunyuan, but also proved the Dao. Great luck is such a good thing. Duo Bao, the second disciple of Jijiao, has great luck when he is in charge of the Wu clan. Breakthroughs really do not waste his energy. Many people in ancient times were envious and surprised. Today I will teach the monkey apes and demonstrate the great path of war. In the demon clan's 10,000 demons hall, an arrogant voice struck through the air. Immediately afterwards, a will to fight against the sky spread throughout the ancient land. The avenue of war has the ability to fight 100 battles, and the will of the Tao body to fight without death is immortal. What a terrible fighting spirit! Tisk tisk, with such a fighting spirit, the thong-armed ape is definitely the most fierce and belligerent person in the world. All the great masters in the prehistoric era feel that the fighting spirit of the simian monkeys is a little trembling. Today, I intercept and teach the golden spirit to prove the way to life. Today, I am cutting off the teachings that are not appropriate and the path to enlightenment. 2 tender voices came. Between the heaven and the earth, 2 more powers of the great road emerged. One was full of life, and the other was a sound that moved the world. 2 more Jijiao disciples have attained enlightenment. Tisk tisk, out of the 6 disciples who have obtained the opportunity of the great Dao, there is only one Ksatigarba left. All the powerful men in the prehistoric time subconsciously stared at the underworld. Today, I intercept and teach Ksatigarba and prove the great road of town. All creatures and evil spirits in heaven and earth who dare to enter the 18 levels of hell will be suppressed by me. A dazzling golden light crossed the sky, followed by a force of reaching that suppressed the world. Tisk tisk, the 6 disciples of Jijiao have already attained the great truth. The 6 disciples of Saint Tongtian have proven the great way. It is really terrifying. However, when the opportunity of the great avenue emerged, the Saint Tongtian never took the opportunity of the great avenue. Could it be that the Tongtian saint, like the unknown Taoist, has already attained the great Dao? But what path did the Tongtian sage prove? When all the ancient great masters talked about Tongtian, they were very curious in their hearts. At first, the disciples of Jijiao went to get the opportunity of the great avenue, but they didn't see the opportunity of the great avenue at all. If there is an opportunity of the great avenue and they don't take it, there is only one possibility. That is that Tongtian has realized the opportunity of the Great Way. Now that the Great Way has been realized in the prehistoric era, all the great powers in the prehistoric era know it, but only Tongtian and the unknown Taoist people do not know it. To be honest, most of the people in the prehistoric era have already had the opportunity. Or the opportunity of the Great Road. Lao Tzu, the existence of the 2 sages of the Western sect can no longer make the great masters of the prehistoric era have any curiosity. But they are only very curious about Tongtian and the nameless Taoist. Especially the nameless Taoist who sees the dragon but never ends. There are many powerful people in the ancient world, but they have never figured out where the unknown Taoist came from. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the Great Way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 150. After Ksatigarba attained enlightenment. In the underworld, another great power suddenly appeared. Hey, why is there still a great power in the underworld? Who is it? All the great powers in the prehistoric era were suddenly surprised. Ksitigarbha is a disciple of the Jijiao, and he went with the disciples of the Jijiao to obtain the opportunity of the great Dao. Ksitigarbha's enlightenment was something that all the great powers in the prehistoric era had expected. However, this other one, no one knows. Today, my queen has realized the great path of the earth. A scream came out. It was no one else. It was Ho-Tu who had been incarnated in the underworld. Ever since he entered the underworld, he has been imprisoned by heaven. When Ho-Tu's voice came out, all the great powers in the prehistoric era already knew the evidence. Who is the Taoist? Turns out to be Ho-Tu. Isn't Ho-Tu unable to leave the underworld? When did he get the opportunity? All the powerful people in the ancient world looked curious. Today, my queen can prove the power of the great Dao. I should be grateful to the unknown Taoist friend who gave me the opportunity of the great Dao. I am able to break away from the way of heaven and have such huge power. I will never forget your great kindness. After Ho-Tu attained the great Dao, a loyal voice of thanks spread throughout the vast land. Unknown fellow Taoist? Giving away opportunities. Is this nameless Taoist friend the nameless Taoist you are talking about? It turns out that the unknown Taoist gifted Ho-Tu with the opportunity of greatness. No wonder, no wonder. Hearing the name of the unknown Taoist, all the great masters in the ancient world were extremely surprised. In the midst of teaching, Nuo had a somewhat jealous expression on her face. Tongtian, why do you want to give Ho-Tu the opportunity to be on the road? And why didn't you tell me? Nu Wa stared at Tongtian and asked. Seeing Nu Wa's expression, Tongtian was very speechless. I am giving others the opportunity of the road, do I have to tell you? I am speechless. Tongtian will not be with a person women care about. The reason why I didn't tell you is that when I did this, you were cultivating the Tao. As for why I gave Ho-Tu the opportunity to do great things, it was because I felt that Ho-Tu had benefited the common people, but was imprisoned by the law of heaven. I couldn't stand it. Tongtian said indifferently. At that time, all the great masters of the prehistoric era took the Honghuang purple chi, and the saints also took the opportunity of the great avenue, and they all started to retreat. The way of heaven was also promoting the evolution of the prehistoric world. Tongtian, as an unknown Taoist, extracted the 3,000 great avenues. The original origin of the Earth's great road in the world was brought into the underworld and given to Ho-Tu. Naturally, this was not because Ho-Tu was imprisoned by the way of heaven, and Tongtian's heart was so good that he couldn't stand it. It was because Tongtian had plotted against Hongjun, giving Hongjun a headache, and he can have fun by reaching the sky in an instant. The way of heaven controls the sky, and the way of earth controls the earth. The underworld was built by Ho-Tu, and it has the right to control the earth. But in order to monopolize the heaven and earth, the way of heaven took advantage of Ho-Tu's just power when the underworld was established. One did not know how much power the underworld had. Ho-Tu used the power of heaven to imprison him in the underworld. He was so stunned that he could never leave the underworld for eternity and could not exercise the power to control the earth. Ho-Tu had the power to control the earth, but can't get out. Tongtian has long known that Ho-Tu is very unwilling. Giving him a chance to get out of the underworld is to give Ho-Tu a chance to get out of the underworld. Ho-Tu was originally an ancestral witch. Although his personality is very kind, he is not without blood. How can you be willing to be imprisoned by the power of heaven for so long and even have the power of controlling the earth taken away from you? Tongtian wants to see how he will deal with Hongjun of heaven when the queen of the underworld is born. You said that Ho-Tu was imprisoned in the underworld by the power of heaven? Didn't she incarnate into the underworld because the underworld needed her, so she couldn't come out? Nu Wa said in surprise. Once Ho-Tu transformed into the underworld, Hongjun not only deceived Ho-Tu, but also deceived all the creatures in the prehistoric times. He made them think that the underworld was because he transformed into the underworld, and the underworld needed Ho-Tu's laws of earth to be able to survive. Can't leave. That's just someone who made you think so, Tong Tien smiled and said. Did anyone make us think so? Tong Tien, do you mean that someone is plotting against fellow Taoist Ho-Tu? Nhwa looked surprised. Then who plotted against fellow Taoist Ho-Tu? You want to know who it is? Then take a good look, don't worry, Ho-Tu will announce it in person soon, Tong Tien said with a smile. At this moment, Ho-Tu has realized the great way of the earth, and the power of the great way is fully displayed, directly filling the ancient and wilderness land, and has formed a confrontation with the power of heaven. What happened? How can the great road of earth in Ho-Tu resist the power of heaven? Really, it's so strange that none of the saints' enlightenment has ever been like this before. The great powers of the prehistoric era were both curious and surprised. At this moment, a delicate body emerged from the underworld. Dao ancestor, you and Tiandao have imprisoned me for countless yuanhui, and you must give me an explanation today. Ho-Tu shouted loudly in the sky. The power of the great way of earth exploded even more vigorously. After being imprisoned by the power of heaven for many years, Ho-Tu was already angry. But he never had the chance to come out. Today he finally realized the power of the great way. How could it be so? We'll give up and give up. What's the situation? Heaven imprisoned the land. Ho-Tu transformed into the underworld. Isn't it because the underworld needs Ho-Tu's laws of earth that Ho-Tu cannot leave the underworld? How could Ho-Tu now say that it was the power of heaven that imprisoned her, and he still wanted to ask Tao ancestor for an explanation? The great powers of the prehistoric times, their pupils and eyes were shocked. In the Zixiao Palace. Why does this unknown Taoist friend want to plot against me? So, do you want to embarrass me and Tiandao? Honghuang frowned. When Ho-Tu proved the great Dao, he said thank you to the unknown Taoist. Naturally, Honghuang heard it. Honghuang didn't respond at first. Why did the unknown Taoist give Ho-Tu a gift? Great opportunity. At this moment, he finally understood. This was to make him and Tiandao look bad. Once upon a time, Ho-Tu established the underworld. Honghuang and Tiandao felt that Ho-Tu had the power to control the earth after the emergence of the underworld, and then used the power of Tiandao to confine it and not allow it to appear. Prehistoric. So that he and Tiandao can continue to rule the prehistoric world and avoid the separation of the power of heaven and earth. Ho-Tu has already realized the great way of earth, and in terms of power, he is no longer inferior to me and the way of heaven. I cannot imprison him even if I want to. Ho-Tu's persecution really put Tiandao and I in a difficult position. Tong Tien was nothing more than a small calculation, which immediately gave Honghuang a headache. In the past, he could imprison Ho-Tu with the power of heaven, but now he can no longer do so. Even strong suppression is not possible now. If Ho-Tu is not appeased, there will be chaos in the prehistoric era. The way of heaven will definitely be affected. Once upon a time, Honghuang, the way of heaven, was in charge of the ancient world, and no one dared to disobey him. Never before has he been forced to do so, whether he appears or not. Now, Honghuang is really in trouble. If you go out to explain the truth, it will be ugly. If you don't go out to explain the truth, Ho-Tu will not give up. Maybe there will be a great chaos in the ancient times. The purpose of introducing 3,000 avenues and many hungmen is to avoid causing chaos. However, this is just the beginning. Ho-Tu he jumped out and forced him. At this moment, Honghuang had a feeling in his heart that it would be a big mistake for him to lead the 3,000 avenues and Hongmeng purple chi. To be honest, it would be hard for Honghuang. Don't let anyone be plotted by Tong Tien. However, for Tong Tien, the emergence of Ho-Tu has just begun. There will be times when he will have more headaches later.